Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. 2, 3. Today is Monday, October 13th. Coming up on about 5 o'clock. Almost 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Almost 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Let's check all of the streams. Let's check Twitch streams. Let's check Twitch streams. Make sure that we have live. Make sure that we have live. There. Okay, it sounds like that's live on Twitch. Okay, it sounds like that's live on Twitch. Okay, it sounds like that's live on Twitch. Now, I need to pull up YouTube. Say hello to folks there. Say hello to if there's anybody there. You gotta check and see first. If there's anybody there, you gotta check and see first. Alright, I've got music on YouTube. Alright, I've got music on YouTube. Alright, I've got music on YouTube. Sounds like I can hear my voice on YouTube as well. Sounds like I can hear my voice on YouTube as well. Sounds like I can hear my voice on YouTube as well. Bump looks good so far. Bump looks good so far. Bump looks good so far. Okay. Okay. Hello, Ada. Hello, Ada. On Twitch. Hello. Welcome back. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hello to Pump. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Pump. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Pump. Hello to YouTube. Let's make sure everything's working. Standing upright. We're alive and well. How is everybody today? How is everybody today? All right, so we have a 24-minute countdown currently for Starship's 11th flight ships. 11th. Let's switch on over to that, shall we? Let's switch on over to that, shall we? Okay, here we are. So this will go live at some point. There it is.
For now, we're looking good for launch. Toss it back down to Amanda and Jake.
Awesome, thank you, Dan. Starship is the first orbital launch vehicle engineered to be fully reusable, just like a commercial airliner. In fact, to the end, we're actually reflying a Super Heavy booster for the second time today. This booster last flew on Flight 8. So let's just start with how powerful this rocket really is. When you stack Starship up against one of the world's biggest airplanes, the 747, a single Raptor engine is actually double the thrust of all 4 airplane engines put together. So that means the Super Heavy over on the pad right now, with its 33 Raptors, is equal to the power of about 64 747s.
Yeah, that's just crazy, Amanda. The power this rocket generates is incredible. To be specific, it's over 16.7 million pounds of thrust. Numbers almost incomprehensible, but it's just crazy. All right, to break it down, Starship is made of 2 parts. First is the Super Heavy booster, which is powered by 33 of those Raptor engines that run on liquid methane and liquid oxygen. And second is the Starship upper stage, powered by 6 Raptor engines. 3 are optimized for sea level performance, and 3 are for vacuum performance with that larger nozzle extension.
I'm gonna make sure that's muted over
All right, it's the Starship's second stage that will one day carry cargo, payloads, and people all the way to Mars and beyond.
The Super Heavy booster is designed to launch, separate, flip, and return to the launch site where it can be caught by the chopsticks on the launch tower. However, as previously noted, we won't be attempting one of those catches today.
No catch.
Starship, on the other hand, re-enters the Earth's atmosphere at the conclusion of its mission, steering itself to a vertical landing or catch. And both stages are designed to return to Earth and fly again, making this the first rocket in history that will be fully reusable.
Yeah, and we cannot forget that between the 2 vehicles is the hot stage ring, a structure made of steel that allows the ship's engines to ignite while still attached to the booster, enabling a faster and more efficient stage separation. Right now, that hot stage ring is single use, but in the future, it will be built in directly to the V3 booster forward end.
And finally, the infrastructure built to support Starship is referred to as Stage 0. This includes the launch pads, tank farm, and the launch towers, which hold the chopsticks that catch the Super Heavy booster and eventually will also catch the ship.
Yeah, and to get us ready for launch today, we recently conducted another static test fire, basically where we fire up the engines to mimic a launch without actually launching. We're seeing the booster on the screen right now. It's a crucial milestone to let us know we're ready to go. And then here we're seeing ship. We did this for the second time on a retrofitted mount on pad 1. We had a full 9-second duration burn on all 6 engines.
We should also note that today's launch on pad 1 is intended to be the last launch on this pad in this configuration. As we head into the next generation Starship Flight test program, we'll be modifying pad 1 to meet the demands of our future missions.
Yeah, and among many other things, we're installing a new orbital launch mount, a new flame trench system, and upgrading the chopsticks for future catches. So until that's complete, we'll be running operations from pad 2, which will be coming online very soon. All right, let's go over to Hawthorne, where Tyler is ready to talk a little Starlink.
Starlink.
Thank you, Jake and Amanda. My name is Tyler Lionquist, and I'm a Starlink business analyst here at SpaceX. Starlink is SpaceX's low Earth orbit, high-speed internet that's bringing connectivity both on Earth and in space. So, Starship is outfitted again today with 4 Starlink terminals, powering those incredible live shots of ship in orbit, through re-entry, and then all the way down to splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Now, we've had a couple of recent milestones that are worth celebrating. Back in September, we launched Starlink for its 300th time. And this summer, we surpassed 7 million active customers with service available across 150 countries and territories. We've come a really long way since turning on service for our first paying customer in rural Idaho 5 years ago, back in October of 2020.
Maples are looking beautiful.
I'm Wendy Layer. I live in Sandpoint, Idaho, and we are the first Starlink customers.
With Starlink, we didn't have to compromise on where we live due to the lack of technology.
The minute they turned it on, we could stream a movie, we could video chat, we could play games on the internet without a lot of lag. I changed jobs earlier this year, so now I actually have the ability to work remote.
Here's my house. Program runs on the cloud. I can send anything I want out to get prices and designs.
I like to bake, so I've been able to research recipes and try new things.
Good day, go for a walk. Good day,
for a walk.
We can live very rural, and yet we are connected to anybody like in the city.
And I'm happy to report that Wendy and Sean are still Starlink customers today. So in just over 5 years, we've added dedicated services for aviation, maritime, RVs, and rail, and have expanded our emergency response capabilities. We've activated high-quality internet for millions of people, including those that live in some of the most remote places on Earth. Starlink is enabling rural school districts, counties, and tribal governments to offer online access to education, telemedicine, and many other critical services, in some cases for the first time ever. And yet, a third of the planet continues to go without access to reliable high-speed internet, so there's a lot more work for us to do. But Starlink was designed from the very beginning to meet these needs. And as each new version of Starlink comes online, the constellation's capacity and performance increases significantly.
Bigger and better satellites.
The larger V3 satellites that will deploy from Starship will bring gigabit connectivity to users and are designed to add 60 terabits per second of downlink capacity to the Starlink network. That's more than 20 times the capacity added with every V2 mini launch on the Falcon 9. And then on the cellular front, last month, SpaceX announced a deal that provides Starlink with exclusive spectrum for its next generation direct-to-cell satellites.
Direct-to-cell.
To be capable of providing broadband service to cell phones globally. Starlink is the largest 4G coverage provider on Earth. Over 7 million people across 5 continents already rely on Starlink to connect their LTE phones to data, voice, video, and messaging, where terrestrial service is unavailable. So we're excited to have the opportunity to help close those coverage gaps and ultimately eliminate mobile dead zones around the world. So yeah, there's a lot happening with Starlink, and there's a lot more to come. So Let's head back to Amanda and Jake at Starbase to take us through today's flight profile.
Thank you so much, Tyler. So today's float
Thanks,
profile,
Tyler.
we're looking to get our second re-entry with this iteration of ship. And prior to every launch, we work closely with the FAA and international air traffic organizations to efficiently and safely integrate launch and re-entry operations into the airspace.
Oh, jeez.
And we've got a special guest
And photo
here.
bomb.
We're
There's the
live.
Elon.
How's it going?
What the heck?
Good to see you, boss.
Hi.
Shows right up. There he is.
Good. We're live right now. What the? Yeah. Getting ready for Flight
Wanna say
11.
hi?
How are you feeling for it?
Good. This is the first time that I'm going to be actually outside standing and watching the rocket. Normally I'm in mission control and stuff,
Okay. Yeah.
but now I'll be standing out in the garden there.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it's really going to be much more visceral.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna feel
Great
it.
place
It's
to
gonna
watch.
be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be awesome. We'll be in here this time, but usually we're out there watching. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Good luck
Later.
and have fun.
Have fun.
Nothing like a photo bomb from Elon, right?
All right, so that was an exciting cameo there. But yeah, starting with liftoff, we'll get into the flight profile here. Super Heavy will ignite 33 engines, 24 of which are flight proven today. We'll power through ascent ahead of hot stage separation, where booster will shut down all but 3 engines. Stage 2 lights its Raptor engines while still attached to Super Heavy. That is what we call hot stage separation. We'll see a directional booster flip and engine relight for boost back. And we'll be intentionally headed to a splashdown in the Gulf with a V3 style landing burn demonstration
Nice.
today.
That'll be cool.
Meanwhile, ship will continue with its ascent burn to a suborbital trajectory, where it will
Launch some
attempt to
fake
deploy 8
satellites.
Starlink simulator satellites. And
Simulators.
we're also planning to relight a single Raptor engine. Then it's time for a re-entry, where we're once again testing the limits of Starship's heat shield by intentionally removing tiles. The ship will also perform a
So we
pretty
could see some
dynamic banking
really wild
maneuver
stuff
that
like the
mimics
last.
the path of a return to launch site for Ketch that will fly on a future mission. And if all that goes as planned, we'll conclude the test with a landing flip, burn, and soft water splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So definitely another action-packed flight profile, Dan.
Nice. All right. T-minus 15 minutes, 10 seconds.
Planned to be the
What we're
final
looking
launch
at.
of this version of Starship.
Starship's being,
version
boosters
number
being
2.
fueled up.
Right now, we're actively building multiple next-generation V3 Starship and Super Heavy vehicles in the factory, kind of right behind us. So let's take a minute and nerd out a little bit.
Yeah, he knew
All
they
right.
were live.
There's going to be launching from Pad 2, which
That's
is
true,
nearing
yeah.
completion.
More
down
debris
here
that'll
at
never be
Starbase.
found.
Both the pad and the vehicles are going to roll in really significant changes. This is building on everything we've learned from all of these flight tests to make a vehicle that we're looking to mass produce. Starting with the Starship upper stage, which is going to look pretty similar on
What
the
a
outside.
wild
It's
view.
getting pretty much a complete overhaul under
Like
the
they
hood.
just have a drone
We're getting
flying
major
around
design
this
changes to
rocket.
its propulsion system that's going to accommodate that new version
They're
of
like, yeah,
Raptor,
we're
which
just going to
puts out
show off
higher
this
thrust.
rocket while we're
also
fueling
getting
it up.
Energy storage upgrades, tons of avionics changes, a lot of things that will
Actually, this
enable
looks like a
longer
rendering
duration
right here.
missions. One notable thing you'll start seeing the outside are these new docking adapters, which we'll use when we bring 2 starships together for propellant transfer.
Ooh,
That's
that
a
looks
core
pretty cool.
capability of Starship that we're going to demonstrate next year.
that's huge.
Bottom line, though,
Refueling
this is the
in
Starship we're
space,
planning to
like
use
on
for all
orbit.
of our next major milestones, orbital missions, return to launch site and catch,
Massive.
reuse, propellant transfer, and then making our way to the moon and Mars. Now, Super Heavy, we've shown some of this off, some of this hardware already coming out of the factory. It has upgrades like this, a redesigned fuel transfer
Thing
tube.
is
That thing's
massive.
roughly the same size as the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket. That channels
You hear that?
all that cryogenic fuel
That's
down to Super
big as a
Heavy's
Falcon
33
9.
engines. We made it bigger. It's basically a rocket inside of a rocket that gives us a
Well,
faster,
'cause, you know,
more
that's the
reliable
best way to
flip
penetrate
and
the atmosphere.
simultaneous engine startup.
Just saying.
New booster also going to have an integrated hot stage, a lot more vent area, and it's designed to be fully reusable. Pressure from those engine plumes gets vented out, mostly offset just by the pressure in the fuel tank. That is the top of the fuel tank. And then we add a non-structural
Oh,
layer
wow.
of steel on the top that helps take all the heating. It's mapped to where all the high heating
Wow.
goes. Grid fins also getting a big change, going from 4 down to 3. They're 50% larger, though, much higher
Oh, wow.
strength. They're also
That's
going to get
huge.
used for vehicle lift and catch. That's all made
Oh.
possible. There's a new catch point addition on those grid fins. We've also kind of reclocked their position on the booster that aligns them with the catch arms.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got it right in the middle there. All right, and then powering it all, Raptor 3. Looks radically different, just straight up radical. Tons of major changes. It's coming in higher thrust, dramatic reduction in parts. Tons
That's
of control
hilarious, Ada.
mechanisms moved inside. Our McGregor team's built some additional stands like this one, which essentially is the bottom of a Super Heavy booster. Lets us do
Man, this
gimbal
engine
or
is
steering
just
tests.
wild.
So that's
Look
been
at all
really
that
exciting to see. We've also been getting
movement.
vacuum
Oh my
versions of
gosh.
Raptor 3 into test. The first flight engines are already in production and are about to start acceptance testing for Flight 12. So a lot of exciting changes coming, and we're getting ready to mass produce everything, including one of the really key contributors to that rapid reusability, the heat shield tiles. Let's jump over to Tyler real quick in Hawthorne, who's got a really cool look at what's happening with tiles in Florida.
Thank you, Dan. Indeed, Starship's heat shield is the linchpin to full and rapid reusability.
After Taco
launch,
Bell,
land, refuel,
that's hilarious.
And launch again if we have to spend months refurbishing the heat shield after every launch, like they did in the Space Shuttle program. So, in a future where Starship is flying several times a day, many, many thousands of heat shield tiles will be required. So yeah, we need to get cooking on those tiles, which is exactly what's happening inside the fully automated bakery down at the Cape.
Oh, wow.
In just 3 years, tile production at the bakery has surpassed the total number of tiles produced during the 30 years of the shuttle program.
No way.
To go from the raw material to a finished tile, it takes about
30
40
years.
hours.
Space
And
shuttle
today, the bakery
production.
is producing about 1,000 tiles a day.
1,000 tiles a
But it's set
day?
up to produce enough tiles for 10 ships per month, which is about 7,000 tiles a day, or a tile off the line every 13 seconds.
Every 13 seconds is their
the
goal.
bakery is well on its way to providing
7,000
Starship with all the
tiles per
tiles
day.
for missions to Mars and beyond.
What the heck?
And for today's flight, we've made a modification to the heat shield tiles. Dan, do you mind filling us in on what's being referred to as the Crunchwrap tile?
The Crunchwrap tile.
Absolutely. I always love to get to do a little show and tell. So we've got thousands of these heat shield tiles covering Starship. Now they're kind of all next to each other. There's a small gap in between all of them. You got to leave a little bit of space as that metal underneath will expand and contract. That way they don't crunch into each other and start breaking. However, that lets some of that plasma kind of seep through, and we see really high heating on the sides and then down on the metal. To help fix that, we have this, the Crunchwrap that everyone has heard about. So we take essentially that's called Vulcan felt that we then wrap around. And so as these tiles are next to each other, you've got a small bit in between that's going to help offset that heating. So it's one of the ways we're continuing to iterate on this heat shield, getting towards rapid reusability. Hopefully it's going to help Starship live Moss. You know, everything is just going to get us to that end state of a fully and rapidly reusable vehicle.
Nice.
So pretty much the entire vehicle has those on it today. We've done this on multiple Starships previously, but this time pretty much the whole vehicle has it. So that was special for today. All right, enough heat shield tiles. Let's go quick check-in on
less than 10 minutes, folks.
If you did notice, we did shift
less
our
than 10
T0
minutes.
just a little bit. We're now counting down to 6:23 and 41 seconds Central Time. We shifted a little bit as we were working to finish clearing the range. We are monitoring sea and airspace, both here over the Gulf and in our splashdown location over on the Indian Ocean. We were working with the FAA, a lot of other international agencies to coordinate all of this. Good news, range is currently green. We're able to get everything out of the way.
All green. Good to go.
So
look at that.
Weather status, I don't even really need to do. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. No probability of violation for launch at this point. We're not currently tracking any issues on the vehicle or the pad. You can see our fill levels are getting up there. We're almost completely done with our propellant loading. We've gone through all of our checkouts so far this morning, aligning our guidance, navigation, and control system, getting the vehicles ready for prop load, the farm. Everything has gone pretty smoothly so far. We got through our go, no go for prop load. That happens at T-minus 1 hour and 15 minutes.
That tube that they were showing that's new, that's the size of the Falcon 9, replaces the tube right here. It's the downcomer tube that brings down the methane to the rocket engines. So you can see it's much more massive than what is on this version 2 model here. The new version 3 will have basically a Falcon 9 rocket inside of it, and that's what's moving the methane fuel to the engines. It's wild how big that is.
So far, thank you, Dan. And we do say it repeatedly because it's important to understand, but these flight tests are all about the data. Data helps us build and fly faster until we're eventually ready to fly people and cargo at scale to Mars. That is our foundational mission and basically just the major inspiration for our work here every day.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Amanda. And our first missions to the Red Planet are just down the road, and we recently shared some exciting news. Starship cargo flights to the Martian surface for research, development, and exploratory missions begin in 2030.
Wow.
And we already have our first customer.
Yeah, exactly. Starship is open for business, and one of the first
Customers for that
payloads will
already?
be provided by the Italian Space Agency.
Oh, the
They recently
Italians.
signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the initial Starship missions that deliver customer payloads to Mars. In related news, Starship cargo flights to the surface of the Moon for research, development, and exploratory missions will start in 2028. So a ton of Starship activity to look forward to.
2028.
And if you'd like to learn more about our mission to making humanity multiplanetary, go ahead and visit spacex.com/Mars. Okay, now as we get closer to launch, development continues down here at Starbase, Texas, to shape this growing city into a truly unique place to live and work. And part of being a city, particularly one surrounded by nature, is environmental stewardship. The nearby Boca Beach dunes have unfortunately been eroding at an alarming rate for some time, so
Somebody
SpaceX
shanked
is
the
teaming
tire.
up with Cameron
You see that
County
knife
and
in
the
that
city
tire?
of Starbase to stop that erosion and hopefully preserve the beach for years to come.
Yeah, and as one of its first permanent residents and someone who's actually called Starbase home for over 3 years now, I can tell you the beach totally adds to the uniqueness and awesomeness of living here. Starbase is truly unlike any other place on Earth. You know, where else can you see the world's biggest rocket every single day?
Yeah, Starbase is definitely the place to be, and we're always looking for more people to come help build the future of spaceflight.
Yeah, particularly engineers, especially for our propulsion and mechanical system teams.
You could be working on tests just like these ones, proving out the designs of our next generation Super Heavy booster. Fun fact, we actually tested the booster to 13,400 tons of thrust, which is more than the power of 3.5 Saturn V rockets.
Jeez.
Which is just crazy.
3
We're also
Saturn
looking for
Vs.
civil and structural engineers to help literally build the future.
Whether it's buildings like the Gigabays currently going up at both Starbase and the Cape, each is a massive vertical integration and assembly facility with over 700,000 square feet of workspace. Both sites are currently in progress, actually going vertical as we speak. Or you could be designing the Starship launch sites of the future. There's really no shortage of future to build here. So visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings if you're interested.
Okay, now as we head into terminal count, all eyes are on the rocket. Dan, how are we looking? Are we green?
Amanda, we are so green. Everything's still looking really good. So we've got a green range, not tracking any blockers there to launch. We're continuing to load prop on board the vehicle. We're just about to close out, so we'll close out again just about 3 minutes and 20 seconds before liftoff. We'll close out on ship, and then booster just about 30 seconds later. And then
we're below 5 minutes.
11 million pounds of liquid propellant.
Less than 5 minutes to launch, folks.
After we're fully loaded on the vehicle, the pad itself gets ready for launch. We do what's called pushbacks. We clear all that prop out of the lines in the tower and the feed system back into the tanks to get ready for launch. And then in the next couple of minutes, we're going to do our final GNC guidance, navigation, and control system alignment. We're going to arm the automatic flight safety system. And then we're going to do final kind of wiggle checks on the steering for the engines, which we might be able to catch a quick peek at as we get closer to those. If we need to hold, which we are not currently tracking a reason to, that would happen at T-minus 40 seconds. It's built into our countdown. We can pause and wait there for any final checkouts, anything that we need to hold for.
Once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, a number of events will occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure, and ship switches to internal power. After that, the quick disconnect arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. Now, once we pass T-minus 40 seconds, if any problems come up, we do still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened and then see if we can proceed again to liftoff.
Yep, however, once the water for the deflector system begins flowing at T-minus 10 seconds, any issue after that would be an automatic scrub for the day, as teams would need to refill the deflector's water tanks as well as the propellant storage tanks at the tank farm before making another attempt.
All right, we are coming up on 3 minutes away from launch. You can see the frost line all the way up. We've closed out prop load onto the ship. Booster coming up shortly. Yeah, in about 10 seconds, we'll finish loading prop on the booster, and then again, we'll have about 11 million pounds of that liquid oxygen, liquid methane on board the vehicles.
That's bananas.
Not currently tracking a reason to hold at T-minus 40. It can pop up at the last moment, or after we pass that gate. We can always hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to. We do have some extra time. We're not constantly topping off the propellant in these vehicles, so we have about a 7-8 minute window where we can wait for any final issues to clear. We're not currently tracking a reason to hold there. Again, our range continues to be green. as we look at sea and airspace both out over the Gulf and in our reentry zone out in the Indian Ocean.
Indian
All right,
Ocean.
2 minutes, 15 seconds to go.
Gonna get there faster than we think.
A lot of things on tap for Flight 11.
Crazy.
Planned to be the last launch of this version of Starship and Super Heavy. Once again, we're really focused on getting ship over to reentry. Once we get to that phase, we're going to dive in. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening on our way back through and down to the ground, hopefully out in the Indian Ocean. Minute 45.
Minute 45.
Should hopefully be seeing...
Look at those engines. Oh, the gimbal.
There's a quick
Wiggle
wiggle
check.
check. Checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13 engines. Doing their one final dance before the big show. And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-minus 40 gate. All right, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle or pad.
Okay, here we go. T-minus 1 minute.
1 minute to go. As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to.
All right, here it goes. Okay, we're through the hold.
All right. We're through T-minus 40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go for launch.
Flight Directors, go for launch. Nice. Here we go, y'all.
T-minus 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the water suppression. There's the engines are live. Oh my gosh.
We have liftoff.
You can see. Look at the freaking shockwaves moving through all that. The sound. Shockwaves.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Pitching downrange. Here we go. All the engines are lit. All 33 Raptor engines. ...600 kilometers an hour. 40 seconds. We're gonna hit 1,000.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33
max
Raptor
Q,
engines
maximum
lit
dynamic
on Super
pressure.
Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next,
1,000
max
kilometers an hour,
Q.
600 miles an hour in 1 minute. 60 seconds to go 600 miles an hour. Ten kilometers.
Max
All right,
Q.
so-
Just call out for max Q.
So at this point, we've passed through.
So
that
all the
period
vehicle
of
stress
maximum
loads from the
aerodynamic
atmosphere are
pressure.
dropping
The
now.
next thing we're looking forward to
It's getting
is
easier
gonna be
to
hot
fly
staging.
through the
So
atmosphere at this point.
we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is
Uphill.
going to be coming up
Here we go.
in just a little over a minute. At that point, we're going to see all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of Miko, most engines cut off instead of main engine.
Most engines cut off instead of main engine cut
And
off.
then after that, we're going to release the clamps that
funny.
are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter. It's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill.
So hot staging
So
means they
in about
never
30
stop
seconds, we're
burning.
gonna see the
That
engines
those
start to
3
shut down.
last
Super
engines.
Heavy, you'll
So
see
the
them
rocket's
kind of shut
always
off in
moving.
separate
Normally,
blocks
all engines
until
get
we've
shut
just
off.
got those 3
So you lose
Raptor
acceleration
engines that never stop
and
running
performance.
for this
So
process.
the
And
hot
then
stage
looking for
burn,
6
you
ship
always have
Raptors.
performance.
All right. Miko coming up in about 10 seconds.
Okay, here we go. Look at that view.
See the engines throttling down.
Okay, so watch down here, the rings. Engines down to the 3. And we're going to have separation.
Ship ignition.
After the upper stage ignites its engines. There they go. There's the hot stage.
Stage separation.
And then the booster
Boost back burn started.
has 12 engines. One did not relight. It should be 13, but that's okay. That's why they have so many engines. In case
All
of
right,
a failure.
successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on booster, so it's doing its boost back. Real excitingly,
Ship
though,
channel
we've got
pressure's
6
nominal.
out of 6 Raptors lit on ship
Nice.
there, so
That's
it's
the
now
other
gonna continue
corner
to
over
make
there. You
its
can
ascent
see
into outer space.
the ship
Meanwhile,
engines.
this boost back is happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to
Now
3,
they're
and
down
then
to
we're going to
3.
shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Back towards where it
Right
launched
after
from.
we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time
Boost back
that
burn
we're
shut
doing
down.
this. Is all right, there's the end of the boost back burn. We should be seeing the hot stage.
Oh, there goes the ring for the hot stage.
So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking
Oh,
shot.
wow.
We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in.
See the ring drifting away from the booster. The hot staging
All right,
ring.
so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. Oh, that's so you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
Starship is on nominal trajectory.
All right. Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on
Nice,
everything.
looking good.
Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely.
Look
The
at that.
crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still
The
intact.
windows are still there.
So
That's good.
That was pretty awesome.
Right?
But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30
Booster
kilometers.
ITS
About
shift.
All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration.
A V3 configuration.
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just
Ship
about
channel
20
pressure's
seconds
continuing to be
away
nominal.
from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for
13
landing.
and then 5.
Finally, that will come
and then
down
3.
to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster
There
is
they
getting
go.
a bit of a
We got all 13 this time.
Booster landing burn started.
Nice. And then there's the 5. Oh, interesting array there. Bird. Watch out for the bird. And then the 3.
Booster landing burn shut down.
Wow. Soft touchdown in the
And
Gulf.
there we heard it. Booster
Look at
landing
that.
burn shut down. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration.
And then it's gonna
and
into the water.
we go.
So that was the second flight for that booster.
That was absolutely
He did not
awesome.
plan to recover it.
If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team. So
Heck
far,
yeah.
so good for today. That was incredible.
All right, great stuff, guys. I'm jealous of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing.
All 6.
So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is SECO.
Second
That's
in-
our second stage engine cutoff. That's Should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight, so we've got about 1:20 still to go. Really cool to see Booster go through that.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
landing burn.
Everybody
That
waving
was
to the camera.
One of our
I
like
think,
really key
at one point or another.
demonstrations we wanted to try and do today. Is that's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom. Sounds like from the booster coming back.
Sonic boom from the booster coming back.
All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until SECO. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
Internal guidance?
In the Indian Ocean. All right, terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go in this ship ascent burn. All right, our vacs have shut off.
Those are the vacuum engines. So the sea level engines are still on right here.
3 more to go.
Ship engine cut
and
off.
that's all 3 of the sea level engines. Vent. There are the nozzles. Ship 38 right there.
All right. All ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
Nominal orbital insertion.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space.
Nice.
A whole lot planned for it. Lots more still to come.
They're adjusting the flaps right now.
Make its way to the water, but I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Only got some extra tiles up there to test on top of the fins.
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd behind us this whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy.
They're still venting.
Just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that V3 style landing burn. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
All right, that was the stand-up, sit-down reminder. So, yeah, look at all the different venting processes there. Very, very cool launch on that system. Why is that not playing? Oh, there it goes. So, yeah, let's take a look at what we got in terms of updates for the flight test. That's what we're watching now over here. Scent burn. Uh-oh. I was typing on the wrong computer. I hope I didn't break anything over here. Selling books in a tiny bookshop. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Alright, so back to this keyboard, this computer, I should say. That's not how you spell successful. It's also not how you spell today. Splashdown. Question mark.
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster is going to see a bit of a hard
Successful relight, all 13 engines, down to the 5 again. And then the soft touchdown as they get to the water. And then
there we heard
we'll have
booster landing burn shutdown. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 B3
LOS, lost the signal.
And into the water we go.
Into the water we go.
And as we're starting to get into the
Let's watch that launch again. Holy smokes.
T-minus 10, 9.
Watch for the shockwaves
7,
here around the booster.
5, 4, 3.
Water deluge system.
1.
That's to soften the rocket launch. Those shockwaves just
We have liftoff.
pulsing. That's the sound pulsing out through the clouds. And look, you can see it pulsing all the way out here, all the way out here. Just those compression waves moving out from the rocket. Massive. And then these mock diamonds here. First diamond, next diamond, where everything is so supersonic on the exhaust from the engines. Absolutely bananas. Another mock diamond there. Holy smokes. Huh.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I wonder who the drone pilot is that gets to do
3,
this.
2,
You know?
1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Also, this is the last use of Pad 1, which it just lifted off from. They're going to retire this pad. This is the last flight off of that launch pad.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Wild. So cool. I don't care about sports. I keep clicking on that, like, not interested in this. Every time. Basically just going to go through and click on all of the, you know, rocket stuff. What kind of notifications we got right now? Somebody liked the post. That's good. Need engagement. Oh, here we go. Artist's rendition of the hot staging ring. Those will no longer come off of the future boosters. The V3 boosters. Wow, that looks pretty wild. Oh, we got internal views now on the Starship. So there's all the dummies, the fake Starlink satellites that will be ejected at some point when they do the payload deploy, which looks like it's coming up soon. Looks like they're on the dark side of Earth at this point. This thing is going 26,000 kilometers an hour. It's bananas. Some little debris, probably ice or something, pinging around, bouncing around inside. There's no atmosphere for drag. That's why they're pinging and bouncing so hard. So basically, this ship has a vacuum in it, as is right now. So seeing all the little ice particles or whatever they are just bouncing back and forth. So this is really interesting. What we saw on Flight 10 was how this whole system works, and they basically just have this chain, bicycle chain with gears, and they slide out, and they get some momentum going to push the satellite out through. You can see the slot here. They call it the Pez dispenser because it you can see the doors open, the lights on. You can see on the outside of the Starship. So it just kicks them out. Doop, doop. Kind of like a Pez dispenser, so yeah. So it looks like they should start doing that at this point. They'll probably have some other camera views for us, just like they did on Flight 10. So we can get a better sense of like what it looks like as each dummy satellite gets ejected out of the Starship. There's 8 of them on this flight. There were 8 on the Flight 10 as well. In the future, Starship's going to hold something like 60 of these satellites. Oh, we got movement right there. Imagine launching 60 of these satellites at a time. Bananas. Okay, so here you can see it's blurry because of low video quality on Twitter, but this is the bicycle chain, so to speak. There's the gear system that spits them out. So it pushes and then it stops. And it's coming back for the other satellite, but the first one was out. So basically it just comes back and it builds up momentum and it just slides right off the rack. And you can see the little shuttle that's on the chain coming back, getting ready for the next one. I want to look at I'm gonna go look at YouTube real quick and see if there's a higher quality video feed, because the X feed is just trash. If you ask me, they don't use high quality video codecs because they're cheap. I'm sure there's other reasons. Yeah, there's no YouTube live feed for SpaceX. Well, let's check live. Nope, no live feed for SpaceX. They're only doing their live feeds on X, and then later on they upload to YouTube. So, which is very disappointing because the quality suffers. We don't get as good of an experience of it. But we can still sort of see something here. Huh. Yeah, it's funny they put that. Views by Starlink. They're using their own satellite network to broadcast this over the internet. Their own internet connection that they built in space. So it's wild that we get to be able to see this sort of thing. This was not possible before. Like, you only had very limited views during limited windows of time when spaceships and space stations were flying over the antennas or the satellite dishes to receive the signals of whoever was broadcasting. And some of those windows, you know, they'd only be able to do it for a short time, 15 minutes maybe, 10 minutes in some cases. Now we get to watch this entire thing start to finish, essentially, because there's a continuous internet connection the entire time, and they built it in space. So There goes the next dummy satellite over here. See it slide underneath and out the Pez dispenser there. And there it is on the outside. A little bit hard to see, but excuse me. Looks like it is there. All right, get ready for the windup. And then get ready to throw the next one. Looks like that's number 4. There it goes. Right out the Pez dispenser. So far, working as designed. That's good. What we want to see, right? No issues with the launch system and the capability there. So yeah, in the future, when they're launching all these satellites, it's literally going to take them like an hour because Starship can hold so many of the Starlink satellites that it's going to take upwards of an hour just to launch them all. Doing it this way. I don't know, maybe I missed it, but it's a little bit harder to see on the smaller screen there. It is dark. I mean, that's the side of the planet that they're on. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, you can see it. Right on out there. So these dummy satellites are going to burn up in the atmosphere on this suborbital trajectory. They'll be close to where the Starship is going to land itself, splashdown, really. But on the re-entry, yeah, they'll burn up quite a bit, and then if, you know, whatever debris is left, then that'll splash down into the Indian Ocean. Oh, that was the last simulator. Over here, you can see some of the carbon overwrap pressure vessels, COPVs. Those provide various different types of ullage fuel or gas pressure. If they need to maneuver in space, you have to have gas to make miniature jets, if you will, miniature rocket engines that don't burn. It's just pushing gas out, and they can use that to turn the vehicle, pitch, yaw, all those things, move the rocket around the Starship. And there it goes. The door is closed. The Pez dispenser is closed at 26 minutes and change. Right now it's over the mid-Atlantic. Probably, so it's a little bit southwest of the continent of Africa there. It's probably, the Azores are up in Spain, but it's coming down this way. You can see on this trajectory. So like, yeah, so like in this part of Africa, you're going to have like, you know, countries like Liberia and stuff like that that are going to be closest to where Starship is right now, but they can't see it because it's nighttime. It's dark. It's not going to happen. Oh, look at that map. That's pretty cool. So yeah, they're actually going to fly over the lower part of Africa there. So probably like, what's down here? Like Zimbabwe, Congo. Let's go find out. that part of Africa, Namibia, Zambia. So this right here, Angola. So part of Angola, Namibia, Botswana. Yeah, Zimbabwe's there. Eswatini, Lesotho. So if there was a way, like any kind of sunlight that were shining over the edge of the Earth here, they would get some reflection. They might be able to see it, but they probably won't. Looks like it's pretty much midnight there right now. How is it in Angola? Almost 1 a.m. Yeah, I wasn't far off. So, yeah, at this point, we're just kind of hanging out. Let's check on the Twitters. Oh, some people saw it from the Florida Space Coast when it launched. Let's check this out. That's super cool. I guess that was the next video, wasn't it? Huh. Oh, that looks like booster separation. The hot stage separating. Wow. Okay, very, very cool. Ship 38 was able to jettison all 8 of its simulator Starlink satellites, meant to mimic the size and mass of Starlink version 3 satellites, which will launch into orbit on board Starship version 3. Successfully deployed our Starlink simulators. Congrats on this part of the mission. There's still more to come. Like, there's still more to do for these flight tests. This one in particular, we're not even done with it. So, yeah, each time, like, each one of these little steps is a huge victory. So many things. Oh, what do we got going on here? It looks like it's tumbling, but the indicator here does not show that. So, what is going on? Yeah, the attitude indicator. Is it moving? All right, let's leave the mouse right there and see if it changes position. But the video, this looks like it's tumbling. Like, the ship is end over end tumbling. But it's in space, so it's not terrible. It's bad, I would think. They haven't got it under control with the reaction control system, which are those little jets of gas that they can use to shoot out from the ship. So, Yeah, that seems odd. And yeah, the indicator on the screen over here is just barely moving. You can see where I left the mouse next to the tip of that rear fin, and it has moved slightly, but it's not moving like what we're seeing on the camera. So there must be some sort of disconnect between the data link. But the speed is steady. We've passed apogee. It's coming back down at this point because it's speeding up. Altitude is still the same. No, it just dropped. Yep. So they've hit the maximum point of the suborbital trajectory, and so they're coming back down at this point to Earth. But this video is rather concerning. Like, if it's an uncontrolled spin, then uh-oh. Starship reached 192-kilometer apogee. 8 dummy Starlinks deployed into suborbital trajectory. Okay, so why? What did I do? I probably clicked off of the SpaceX. See if anybody else is mentioning anything. That's weird. Do we have... Devastating to flat earthers. That's always funny to see. So nobody seems to be making any mention. See, there it's lit. So this camera above this fin, see how it's moving? That indicates that Starship is doing something. It's like... And since it's dark, we can't really see right now. But this indicator down here does not match what we're seeing on the camera. Yeah, see, and then this camera view. It's a cyclical, like, the ship's going end over end or something. It could be going sideways, spinning around this way. So it could be spinning around this way. But it could be going this way, like end over end. And it could all be part of a test. Who knows? We don't know exactly what SpaceX is doing with the stress testing on the Starship. We have an idea. They gave us some idea, but we don't know every little detail of what they are doing. So we should find out soon, once some of the folks come back online at some point for the live cast that they're doing, whatever streaming they're doing. So, yeah. Nightbot decided to wake up. What do you know? Oh, we got the hot fire test on orbit. It's where they test relighting the engines in space. That actually did something. Wow. Okay. Curious. Something went to plan, I guess. Still has some movement. Yeah, see, it seems to be rotating. Oh, we have a fin adjustment. You can see something. Look. Something on the surface of Earth? Perhaps? We got something going on. I was checking on another stream to see if they had any idea what was happening. It does look a little more stable now. It's not... Yeah, see? So it looks like you can start to see clouds down below here. So we're not having that weird, you know, flash cyclical moving across the camera anymore. It's stabilized. Oh! That was curious. Some sort of atmospheric interface there. Starting to come in. Yep, some more. I wonder if those are engines firing again, but it's not shown up here. So this must just be atmospheric. Yeah, there it is. Now it's going to be solid. Got plasma interfacing. So the reason why it could flash is because the Earth's atmosphere is not perfectly smooth. So you can have sections where the atmosphere is higher in altitude than other parts of it because it's lumpy, it's bumpy. It's not a perfectly smooth globe around the Earth. The atmosphere is not smooth. So that's probably what we saw there, was some of the interfacing with higher parts of the atmosphere, and it causes this plasma to start to generate. But now that we're getting lower in altitude, 121 kilometers, yeah, the atmosphere is definitely thicker and more consistent here, so we're starting to see a lot more of that plasma. And yeah, so, and also we can see on the globe down here, we're going to be passing over, like, right past the southern part of Madagascar. So that'll be cool. Yep, look at that. Southern tip of Madagascar. We're going to fly right over that. 42 minutes into the flight. So yeah, now we got the surface heating on the tiles. Got a solid plasma flow, as they're in a lot thicker atmosphere now. It's going to stay consistent. We're going to see some pretty colors, I'm sure. We always do with these re-entries. It's just absolutely wild what it looks like. If you've never seen it before, you're in for a treat, for sure. But yeah, imagine hitting the atmosphere at 26,700 kilometers an hour. That's massive. Pull up my phone here to do the math. 27,642 times 0.621. That is 16,606 miles per hour. So yeah, they are coming in hot. 26,000 kilometers an hour, 16,000 miles per hour. This is fast. Definitely fast, for sure. So, here's the Pez dispenser that we saw earlier. This is like one side of it, where the dummy satellites were sliding out of the Starship. This feature up here, there's like a half tube running along the length of the Starship. That's where they run wires, controls, stuff like that. Oh, here's one of the grid fins. You can see tiles along the leading edge down here. Oh, is that the moon? Super cool seeing that plasma build up there under the grid fins. Those tiles, the ceramic tiles protecting them from the intense heat of the plasma. Plasma is considered the fourth state of matter. So you've got gas, liquid, solid. Plasma's like gas, but it's superheated and it's kind of physical. Yeah. Absolutely bananas what kind of temperatures you'll be looking at here on the surface, this side of the Starship. Pretty high temperatures up here as well, where it's just the bare metal, but there's a reason why these ceramic tiles are necessary for re-entry. It's to protect all the metal, protect the Starship from all of the massive heat that the plasma generates. So it's all just friction. This thing is literally falling out of space into the atmosphere. Alright, just crossed the Kármán line. We are now back below, technically not in space anymore. We're back into the atmosphere at 100 kilometers. 99 kilometers there. Yep. It's only going to get hotter. Looks like they're trying different camera angles. So, the fact that they have internet right now so they can stream this video is because the satellite network that they built that provides internet. Like, this is bananas. And they bring it up right there. Yeah, views by Starlink. Oh wow, look at that. We got some chips on this tile here, and maybe over here. Wonder what could have caused those. Just stresses of launch, I suppose. Pretty violent experience for the spacecraft and their booster. Lots of vibration, lots of noise, just physical movement. Passing through 92 kilometers in altitude, descending at 26,800 kilometers an hour. You're now out over the Indian Ocean, like the very southern part of it. See the leading edge of the grid fin has tiles on it. Now it's gone. It looks like they're going to split the difference right there when they fly over. It's like Indonesia and Australia, like right through the middle of the gap there in the ocean. But in theory, they're actually going to splash down before that. The zone that I saw earlier this week showed the safe zone for where they're going to splash down. So even though the line looks like it's going over the horizon, it's not going to. Whoa, look at this. It's wild. Man. Imagine just punching through the atmosphere at 26,000 kilometers an hour. Look at that plasma just drifting up. They've got the wings fully, like, it looks like folded up. Like this interface here between the plasma and the tiles, there's so much incredible heat, just peak heat. Normally they come on and they let us know when we're approaching peak heat, but that might be in a couple of minutes. Oh, speed's dropping pretty rapidly now. Definitely getting resistance through a thicker part of the atmosphere, passing through 78.5 kilometers. More and more friction, more and more heat, more and more stress on the vehicle. G-forces from re-entry here. Oh, that was pretty. I wonder what that was. They do have other tiles on the Starship that they're testing, so some of those tiles might be coming apart. So you're getting some ablation there, where it's literally being burned off by the plasma, and you see the pieces, those little sparks that fly up occasionally. Those could be compromised tiles. We don't know yet. Oh, look at that. Oh, something busted over there. Speaking of something ablating and pieces coming off. Now, they did this intentionally because they want to test every aspect of this vehicle on re-entry to its maximum capability. They need to know the limits of the performance envelope where this thing can survive. And so that means stressing it over certain tolerances in order to cause these micro failures and see, how much is survivable. And then that way in the future they can operate at less than those margins and know that they're going to be safe 100%, right? So overstressing the test vehicles now gives them a better understanding of where they're allowed to, based on physics, operate the vehicle, right? So just all the colors and the flashes of the plasma, this dance over here, seeing that on the reflection of the stainless steel is pretty cool. Something happened to the camera. Alright, now we're over to this camera. 70 kilometers in altitude. Slowing down now, we're below 25,000. 24,800 kilometers an hour and decreasing. See some articulation on the wings there. It's just balancing itself. It's using these these wings to keep itself from rolling or tumbling or whatever. Oh, clouds. We got clouds passing by, starting to get into the daylight side of Earth. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh, pieces doing things. This is wild. All these blue sparks right here coming off. wonder if that's steel. Those are steel tiles. So you can tell from the color of things how they burn, what their composition is. Oh, look at that. Big old cloud cover there. That purple plasma is just wild, seeing that off of the wing there. More and more daylight. Look at that. Lots of cloud cover over this part of the ocean. Oh, there's a nice blue. Look at that. And then here you've got the leading edge on these grid fins are protected by ceramic tiles as well. So they're protected. In this joint up here too, there's various different tiles to protect that while it articulates. We're getting a little bit of that movement now. We can see it adjusting itself. Nice. When the image comes back. Passing through 22,200 kilometers an hour, descending 65.5 kilometers. Look at this view. "54.5 minutes. So you can see some of the rainbow effect on the stainless steel, the annealing of the metal at the high temperatures that it's been exposed to. It's pretty wild. But also this is why they're using stainless steel, because it can survive those temperatures with very little impact to its performance, its capability, in terms of tensile strength, you know, everything. Flying over the ocean. I want to see how close they get to the camera buoy this time. They keep getting closer and closer. It's pretty amazing. And then the shot that you see of it landing in the water, absolutely bananas. Well, hello, YouTube. Welcome back. How are you doing? We're watching rockets. Starship. It's currently over the southern part of the Indian Ocean. You'll be able to see it here. The previous trajectory they showed, it would have passed through Indonesia and the northern part of northwest Australia, but it's going to be splashing down here in the ocean for this particular flight test. This is the last test model of this version 2 Starship. It's Ship 38. You can see just there on the side. You can see the door to the quote-unquote PEZ dispenser. That's where they launch the satellites out from the side of the ship. It's closed. And then this like half tube on top, that there's a bunch of control cables, wires for signal and stuff like that that run along there. Here's one of the fins. It's got some test tiles on top of it. Just checking. They want to see what happens to tiles up here in a adhesion, I suppose. This one looks chipped in a couple of places, and this one is chipped a little bit too, so probably some stress from the launch. Outplayed UEFN? No, not today. We're watching rockets and starships. We've passed through 19,000 kilometers. We're below 59 kilometers in altitude. We can see the fins. Oh, there's some heating right there. Look at that. It's all orange. That's pretty wild. And then you can see some of the plasma and the heating on these ceramic tiles on this leading edge for the rear wings here. Coming up on 57 kilometers and falling. We're now below 18,000 kilometers an hour. A lot of cloud cover down there, so hopefully the landing site, it will clear up. Of course, it'll be below the clouds when it lands in the water, so we'll still be able to see that. Oh, the fire. So we've passed peak heating, I'm guessing, by a long shot, because now it looks more like fire instead of plasma. Oh, we're getting some maneuvering here. So you see how it's tilting? So as it's coming down through the atmosphere, it looks like it's doing some S-turns. This is an example of what the space shuttle did to bleed off speed in order to make sure that it landed at the right spot on Earth. So, so in order to make, normally the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? But what if you do S-turns in between? It takes you a longer time and you travel a further distance to get to those 2 points. And so by doing this here, this allows them to turn towards and move to the desired point on Earth where they want to actually land the Starship. So look at that, 1.7 Gs on the Starship. And yeah, see how it's turning here off of the engines? It's not going straight, it's at an angle. So you can clearly see that they're making a turn here. And the temperature's still pretty hot, probably exposed metal parts or whatever, or part of the heat shield. But it's definitely, most of the plasma is gone. It looks like it's mostly fire at this point for this speed and altitude. Still got a little bit of a drift going on here because you can see the angle the Earth is moving relative to which way the engines are pointing. Now it looks like it's straightened out a little bit more. Coming down. Just doing a big belly flop right into the atmosphere. You can see right here from this orientation on the lower right of the screen, you can see how it's going in. One and a half Gs, 46 kilometers and falling. We're now under 10,000 kilometers an hour. It's a lot of deceleration. A little bit of something. Still hot enough to hop off there. Getting more movement out of the forward fins so that's how they adjust it. Got a drone view out in the water. Do we see it yet? Not yet. I'm surprised we're not getting any commentary. Oh, I muted it.
All right, there we go.
Way to go.
So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver.
Good job, Brad.
And this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive and a twist right at the very end.
And a twist right at the very end, okay.
Line us up with the launch tower. Starship on a return to launch site would fly over the
that's
tower,
what they're talking about.
Do a quick landing burn flip, and then come down for catching the arms.
So they're just testing out the maneuvers for what it would take when they do eventually land on
How about that S-38
tower.
decal there, staying strong on that view we just had?
Good to see the numbers back on.
Yep.
Yeah.
S-38.
All right, should be hitting transonic in about 2.5 minutes.
Transonic.
Landing flip coming up in about 4. Pretty clouds there in the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launch in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see like the vast majority of the heat shield. So we throw these buoys out there. We've got
bouncing around.
You spoke it again, Dan. There it is.
They're playing with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see externally how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10 it had a little bit of a paint job. A little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested, kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading those little oxide particles all over the heat shield. No metal tiles on this flight, so not expecting to see that.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Oh, now we're turning back the other way.
Hope nobody gets seasick. All right, coming up on transonic shortly.
Transonic, which means it'll be
about 2.5 minutes
below
away
the speed of sound at some point.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship is
transonic.
Starting the belly flop phase
All right.
of flight.
Yep, that belly flap phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
So they are no longer faster than the speed of sound. 730 kilometers an hour and dropping.
Right, starting to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from.
Got a little flapping going on over
do,
here.
Do a flip. After we ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown.
Something
hopefully
blew off there.
by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
We got some wiggling. So the fins are moving because it's doing a belly flop, and it needs to keep itself stable on its roll and its pitch as well. So all of these fins moving help keep it from rolling over or pitching up or pitching down. And it has to come in at just the correct
center engines
like
have
belly
entered
flop
the
angle.
chill phase.
All right, less than a minute to go.
Some more of
Shipping
this
the ship is making for final approach.
insulative cloth type material.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch
Oh,
tower.
wow. Here we go. Oh, we got some fuel venting. Prep the engines.
Flaps holding
So
strong.
pre-cool the engines.
Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Because you still have liquid fuel in there, and you've got to get those engines to the right temperature before you ignite them. Otherwise, you could have serious problems. So they're venting
Ship landing startup.
some of that ullage through there now. Engine ignition. All 3 of them. Here we go. Let's go.
There's our landing burn.
Landing burn. Now we're down to the 2. There's water. Look at that.
3 down to 2.
Starship is
And
landing.
our soft landing. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then it's going to fall over and probably go boom. Just like that.
As we said, we're not planning on recovering the ship today.
I'm not planning on recovering the ship.
We are down
Yeah.
in the Indian Ocean.
Congrats on another one, SpaceX.
Let them hear at Starbase. What a
Oh
day.
man. That's wild.
Oh,
Successful mission all around. It looks like everything.
all right. Welcome back to Earth, ship.
Nice.
What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped.
Yeah,
Hey
for sure.
Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those Starlink views too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you for tuning in, and back to you guys.
Yeah, what an incredible launch today. We had Successful liftoff. Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously, we saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Yeah, we made it through that re-entry, testing all the different experience. We had missing tiles, gave us quite the light show.
Yeah, it sure did.
After relight, 3 for 3. That was ahead of re-entry, of course. And then that awesome splashdown that we just saw, including that dynamic banking maneuver to simulate RTLS when we return to the launch site.
We
promised maximum excitement, and Starship delivered.
Definitely.
Congrats to all our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who's supporting the Starship program. And thank you to all our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Yeah, be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and about more of the exciting views we didn't get to feature on today's broadcast.
And if you're interested in more launch coverage just like this, head over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information.
There you go.
All right, I will take us out. Hey, congrats, Jake and Amanda. You guys did amazing. Great job. All right, today we launched the world's biggest rocket, knocked out all of our objectives. Shout outs to every single person who made this look easy. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We're going to see you back here for the very first flight of our next generation Starship. So we'll see you then. Good night.
Good night. Heck yeah, let's go. Wow, that is wild. Huh. So Flight 11 in the books, complete. So, congrats everyone. Making this look easy. Success all around. Live long and prosper, y'all. So there it is. Mission complete. So there's actually another there's another SpaceX launch, as it turns out, today. At least thought there was. Or it might have already happened while we were watching this. Nope. Hour and 23 minutes. KF-03 mission, Falcon 9 out of Slick 40 in Florida. It will be landing on the drone ship. It launches in 1 hour, 23 minutes. Yeah. And then there will be another Falcon 9 launch tomorrow in 22 hours and 37 minutes. That'll be SDA's Tranche 1 transport mission. Launching out of California at the Air Force Base there. So, yeah, pretty wild. Let me say we watch this landing one more time.
The ship is making its turn for final approach.
Making its turn for final approach.
Here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch tower. Flaps holding strong.
Flaps holding strong.
Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Nice. Huh, yeah, those flaps doing a lot of work there, wiggling and maneuvering the Starship.
Ship landing startup.
Here it comes. Engines on. Flip and burn. Pieces falling off. Still. And then gets to the water.
Down to 2.
Starship has landed.
There she is. Can't wait to see the rest of the views. Like the drone view that was flying above that. All that stuff. That should be pretty cool to see. Dead on target. Dude, it was right next to the flipping buoy. And then it popped. Because that's what it does. Oh, look at this shot from the Florida coast. This is the picture they got. That's pretty awesome. Jenny Houtman, another rocket photographer. They had this thing flying around. How insane was that, right? Absolutely bananas. Wow. Good job, SpaceX. Excellent. Good to see that. More rockets. Firefly Aerospace working on their engine as well. SpaceX only seconds away. Yeah, that buoy. That's what it's looking like. They've got the camera set up, just floating out there. You know, essentially to watch the rocket land right on spot. So it's funny, the comments. Only explosion is missing. Where is Rudd? That's usually what happens when it flops down onto the water like that, which we did see. So that's funny. Yeah, these catch pins, these were experiencing some pretty peak heating there on re-entry. That's where when the chopsticks, as they call them, the chopsticks on the landing tower close in, and then the landing pins, that's how they catch the Starship or the booster, the rocket. So, but yeah, I was noticing that too, the amount of heating that was showing up, like, because you can see it glowing there as well. It's pretty extraordinary. So, yep, very, very cool. Mission success all across the board, it looks like. You know, the engine read light while they were on their way up, deploying the simulated satellites. Re-entry, like, seemed very uneventful this time, despite the fact that they said that they changed out tiles, removed tiles, and everything. And then just splashing down, pretty much it looks like right on target next to that buoy. And yeah, it's pretty freaking cool what we got to see today. So let's refresh the SpaceX feed here and see if they've got anything else posted yet. Nope, just that and the landing. So we'll probably see more soon. But for now, yeah, that's pretty much it. They've got another launch. It's now down to an hour and 18 minutes, launching out of Florida, SLC 40, their launch complex there. And that'll be a Falcon 9, which we've had 555 completed missions at this point. Are you kidding me? 516 landings. 480 reflights. So across the board, all of those boosters, like 99.9% are Falcon 9. A couple of them have been, you can see here, a couple of these super heavy boosters have reflown twice, but the majority, 99.9%, are Falcon 9s that have flown 10, 20 plus times now. Just keep reflying those rockets. But yeah, that's it there for the rocket part of the stream. I think what I'm gonna do is call it a night, go make some dinner, chill out, relax, and you know, get ready to do some stuff for tomorrow. Yeah. So that's it for now. I do hope to see you all again tomorrow. This is my weekend. It's Saturday for me, even though it's Monday in the real world. And so tomorrow, I've also got the day off. Planning on doing a little stream tomorrow. We'll do some more Unreal Engine for Fortnite. Yeah, UEFN. Whatever. It's a mouthful. Just say UEFN. Maybe play a little bit of Fortnite. Maybe play another game. We'll see how I feel and stuff like that. Yeah, should be fun. Thanks for watching. Everybody on Pump, good night. Everybody on YouTube, have a good night. And, of course, Twitch. Thanks for watching. See you next time.